And today we are heading towards chapter 14, Hare Krishna. It's entitled as The Three Modes of Material Nature. So far we have completed two important parts of Bhagavad Gita. The first part is Karma Yoga, chapter 1 to 6. It's a yoga of action, and then we spoke about the middle part of Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, that is from chapter 7 to chapter 12. We spoke about the yoga of devotion. And yesterday, we started with chapter 13, titled as Nature, Enjoyer, and Consciousness. So we spoke about very important aspects. Spoke about body and soul, right? The field and the knower, the field, right? We spoke about, how the land, the soul, and the, Paramatma. We give an example of a land, body, so body, um, you all remember that example, 1B, 2C, Exactly right. Yes. We spoke about basically, that body, soul, and Paramatma. Exactly right. So here we could see that Lord is revealing how the body is different from the soul and also the Paramatma, right? True knowledge means understanding the difference between body, soul, and super soul. So the real wisdom is to know that we're not this body, but we are a soul. And Krishna is a supreme knower. And this knowledge can lead us to freedom from illusion, ultimate liberation. So today is a very, very interesting topic. We are going ahead with chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. So four things are there which will describe, which will we understand step by step. One is the modes of nature, understanding the dominance of nature, transcendence one's nature, and going beyond qualities. So please pay attention. It's going to be very interesting chapter today, and make some notes also. So let's not take time. Let's start off. Hare Krishna. So in this verse, you could see it says, Sattvam sukhe sanjayate raja karmani bharata jnanam avritya tamaha pramade sanjayata utaha. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to be happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge blinds one to madness. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains that every person, you and me, everybody are influenced by three modes of nature. So that is Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. So when I say Sattva Guna, it's a mode of goodness. All right. And when I say Rajaguna, it's mode of passion. Let's do it. Trigger the passion. Let's do it. That's passion. Being always in achiever mode, passion. Then one is Tamaguna, mode of ignorance. Okay. So let's begin the class. Three things keep in mind. Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna, mode of goodness. So early morning it's a mode of goodness. The afternoon is like mode of passion, and the night is a mode of ignorance. So before I proceed, just want to, feeling very enthusiastic today. I want to give you a kind of a very amazing information about this. Somebody gets a sleep from 9 to 12, evening 9 to 12, it is considered as 3 hours. But as per the science, it's considered as 6 hours. Wow. Right? So from evening 9 to 12 o'clock at the midnight is 3 hours, right? But if you get sleep that time, it's considered as 6 hours. Let's say somebody sleeps at 12 o'clock in the midnight and wakes up at 3 o'clock. So how many hours? 3 hours. So what's the benefit? Just 3 hours. Somebody sleeps in the 3 o'clock in the early morning and till 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours. How many hours it's compared as? 1.5 hour. So now I want to know whether did you understood this concept or not. Okay. So please leave it on the chat box. Somebody is sleeping at 9 o'clock in the evening and he woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. As per the science, as per the modes we are speaking, how many hours the person has slept? Somebody slept at 9 o'clock, okay, and woke up at 6 o'clock. So how many hours he has slept? Okay, I'm looking at the chat box. Let's see. Somebody is saying 6 hours, 6 hours. Okay. We are not still in the. Okay, that's not the right answer. I'm looking for the right answer. Very close, very close, very close. Okay, I'll explain you once again. Okay, so just pay attention. Okay, from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, it is compared to 3 hours, but it's compared to double it, 6 hours. Okay, and from 12 to 3, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours only. But somebody sleeping from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, though it's 3 hours, it's half of that. That is 1.5 hours. All right. So you imagine 6 plus 3 plus 1.5. How much? Okay, I'm not getting the question. Okay. Yeah, I got the answer. Advaita gave the answer. It's 10.5 hours. Okay, I'll repeat the question. The question is very simple. Somebody is sleeping at 9 o'clock, waking up midnight, 12 o'clock. Though it's 3 hours, as per the science, it is compared as 6 hours. Because generally we don't get sleep that time. So you get the double benefit. Yeah, now you're giving the right answer. And from 12 to 3, it is 3 hours, just 3 hours only. There's no benefit. From 3 to 6, what is happening? Though you slept physically 3 hours, but the actual rest you get is 1.5 hour. This is as per the science. So somebody is sleeping at 9 o'clock in the night and woke up at 6 o'clock. They have slept for 10.5 hours. Okay. Somebody says your question screen, I didn't get it. Okay, yeah, we never put the question on the screen. It just we never put the question. Okay. So just I'm telling you how the time works, So that's why it's very important that we have to, yeah. Now everybody are giving the right answer. It's 10.5 hours. Okay, Prabhu, please poll the question. Okay, I will do it by end of the class. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, I'll do the end of the class. Okay, let's start with it now. So now somebody is in goodness, you'd see they are like samadhi. They are in a meditation. Very mind is very peaceful meditation. And somebody is in passion, says, let me do it, let me do it, it's like achiever mode, right? This is a trigger the passion, that's the achiever mode, that's passion. And somebody is in ignorance, is totally confused. Okay, so understand these concepts. Okay, goodness, very sattvic, very like very peaceful meditation. And somebody is very much passionate. He's like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that, like is like adventure person, right? And ignorance, oh my god, it's like confused, like very sleepy. So just understand this concept. Once we go, we'll be able to clearly you understand. Okay. Now the mode of nature is very important to understand. Once you understand this, I'll tell you from today onwards, you'll have a great impact in your life. So please pay attention. Okay. Now let's understand them through a very easy and interesting way. Okay. Let's say there is there was one person who was walking towards the forest. Suddenly, he was being attacked by three people, and all the three are thief robbers. So now let's see. Every individual thief has different reaction. So first thief, he says, okay, we'll kill him, let him kill him. So that means no, he's in tamaguna, mode of ignorance. He's full of violence, he has no compassion. He's in completely ignorance. That is mode of ignorance. Okay, tamaguna. Let's say second thief. How do he react? He says, okay, we'll not kill him, we'll tie him on the tree and we'll leave from there. So this person is not killing, he's just tying that person wherever he is and he's just pushing off. Now he's in a Rajaguna. Why? Because he's still harming that person. He's very selfish, he's very greedy, but not completely cruel like a Tamaguna guy. Let's say the third person, another thief, what he can do, he may come back later and free that man, okay, you go home safely now. You see, this person is not compassionate, he has that peaceful and thoughtful. So it's more of a goodness. So now what I'm going to say is the same situation is showed by three different thieves through different reactions based on the guna what they have. Somebody is very, mode of ignorance, and he says, okay, hey, will kill him, man, kill this person and go. And somebody who's passion, what he'll do? He will not kill, but he will try to harm that person. He will tie that person in the tree and he'll push off. If somebody who is not passion, very sattvic, he will have some compassion. Let's leave this person. No, I think this analogy might be a little confusing, but the analogy what I'm going to give now, it is a very easy to understand. So please pay attention. Now on the screen, you see somebody uses a lot of monkeys, right? And there's one person with a basket. Just look at that. Now I'm going to explain you. Please pay attention. There was a man who was selling caps. Was selling caps. He got very tired. It was like summer. So he slept under the tree. So after maybe 1 hour, we say it's a power nap. After 1-2 hours, he just woke up, and all the monkeys in the tree were wearing the caps. This guy was a cap seller. His basket was filled with caps. But when he went to sleep and when he woke up, there is no caps. All the caps, is not there. But where are they? All the monkeys are wearing. Now, how will this person respond? Like, I want you to tell me, how will you respond? If you are in a tamaguna, if you are in a mode of ignorance, what we will do? Maybe we may shout, we may throw stones on that monkey, but still it will not help. Am I right? Let's say somebody is a mode of passion. What they may do? They may climb the tree, they may try to fight, but still wasting energy, because you're not able to catch the monkey and the monkey will not give you the cap also. But let's say somebody is in Sattva Guna, he will think very smartly. What he will do? He remembers monkey are very good in trying to imitate. Whatever you do, even they do. You do like this, they also do like this. Do like this, they also do like this. They like to imitate, copy. So this seller, cap seller, he takes off his cap and throws on the basket. Monkey also look at this person. They also remove the cap and they also throw it in the cap on the basket. Now what happens? This guy, he collects all the cap peacefully. So Sattva Guna, means using calmness. Same time, intelligence will help you to solve problems. So in life, we have a lot of challenges. Challenges will come. But if we he will throw cap, he will throw his cap. Yeah, exactly right. He will throw his cap in the basket. Now look at the screen. If you look at the on the screen, you see he had only one cap, because all the caps monkeys have taken. So to get that back, he just came in the mode of goodness and he took his own cap and threw it on the basket. Now all the monkeys want to imitate this fellow. So even they remove their cap, they also throw it on the basket. Then he collected all the caps. This is what understanding how, if you know the process of 3 modes, it's going to be a game changer. So please pay attention. Now, I'll give an example of a very happy family. See, in a happy family, you'd see even inside the family, you can see this 3 kind of gunas, 3 kind of modes. Like somebody is in a Sattva Guna family, mode of goodness, you see husband, wife, children, they talk each other, they're very happy, they're very peaceful, they take responsibilities and they care for each other. Now this is what? Mode of goodness. Now I'll tell you something little opposite. Now look at you. Somebody is in a Rajaguna, Tamaguna, everyone are busy chasing money. They want to become success, status, The father works late night. Mother is always stressed. Children are left alone with no values. They're always on the phone playing PUBG or SUBG, whatever the game is, So they are like playing, and, there's a lot of wealth at home, but none of them are happy because there's no connection. So I gave you the analogy. I'll tell you a kind of a story, Let's say there was a very wealthy family, wealthy man, wealthy family. They lived in a very luxurious apartment, but each members were very busy. Husband, father, child, they're very busy, Like father is all the day from morning to evening is working very hard because you want to earn more money, Mother, she's busy with the clients, and kids are busy with the gadgets, they're playing games, video games, whatever. So if you see, everybody are busy. They are doing everything except time for each other. They're not giving time for each other. So one evening, what happens? There was a power off. Current went, So then now, because it's like when there's no power, it's like a fish out of the water. All right. So they all said, oh, nothing is working. There's no power. So they all sat together. They were forced to sit together, Now what to do? No device, nothing is working. They started talking each other. Now the candle, they just lighted the candle. They're just talking to each other. Now they spoke from their heart. For the first time in a year, they all sat together and they started speaking. Then what happened? That moment made a big change because they began spending time daily together because they never did this before. What I mean to say is, see, success without connection brings emptiness. You all agree, right? But true richness in love, time, shared values. That's why we say, we have no time. We should give time to our friends, relatives, our parents, because that is the real asset. We are so much carried away in our own world that we have no time. So this is called mode of Rajaguna, mode of passion. So this is what I would say. This is very common everywhere, because I see our whole Indian culture, it's like a fantasy. We are trying to imitate the Western culture, So that is not correct because we are all sitting in diamonds and pearls. But because of our ignorance, we are begging for a broken piece of a glass. So let us wake up, let us understand the values. Because if you are in mode of goodness, everything goes well. Mode of passion, your intention is good. You want to make the family busy. You want to make the family rich, happy. But we are so busy that we have no time to talk to each other. All right. And now let's come to something more, Tamaguna. Tamaguna is like, more of ignorance, right? They are fighting. People are very lazy, a lot of confusion. No one respects each other. And the life is full of anger and confusion. So, depending on the gunas we have, the quality of life will change. All right. What I want to conclude here is that we all, you, me, all of us, we have this three gunas, and we are in the mix. We all have a kind of a mix of these three gunas, but we should try our best to increase to sattva guna. How? Very simple. Wake up in the morning. That means you have to go to sleep a little early. All right. Wake up in the morning, and Gita says, Anudvegam karam vakyam. When you speak to someone, let that words be very sweet, very truthful, not hurting, not agitating. It should be very palatable. Right? To speak nice words, right? And then when you're doing some work, do without selfishness, right? And also very important, be God conscious, chant the name of the Lord. And of course, when you're eating food, eat food which is very sanctified, pure food, offer to the God. And always, keep good association, right? Because that is very important. So because Sattva Guna will lead to real happiness, peace will come to you. And this helps us to become very close to Krishna. So this is just kind of small analogy, but I'll explain in detail. Now, if you look at this chart, there is a practice of four things I mentioned: books, work, time, and food. Now, let's say somebody have a practice of reading books. So if he is in Sattva Guna, he'll read those books which is very inspiring, like somebody's autobiography, inspiration, But somebody who's in Rajaguna, that is mode of passion, he'll start watching, horror novels, science fiction, all these things. And somebody is in Tamaguna, oh my God, what do I say? He's supposed to not, like he'll start, looking at those magazines, it's like very objectionable stuffs, So that is completely ignorance. Now, somebody is working, like somebody in Sattva Guna, they take a profession of a teacher because they love teaching, right? Because students respond, And then somebody in Rajaguna, let's make money, 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 money. Money is sweeter than honey. If it is somebody else's money, they'll mange more, give me more. I need more money, 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 money. That's what their life is, They always want the money. And for money's purpose, they'll do anything crazy. All right. And somebody is in Tamaguna, they have money, but what they do, they start drinking wine, drugs. This is what happens. And of course, now practice, how does it work in the time of a day? So I said you early morning is a mode of goodness, and afternoon time, it's like mode of passion. And after 8 p.m., it is mode of ignorance. So you should be very careful. Of course, coming to the food, I have a lot to say about it. Anyways, once we go to chapter 7, we will discuss more. In chapter 7, we'll have a very clear understanding about food. What kind of food we're supposed to have, what kind of things we're supposed to have. So it says somebody is having juicy vegetarian food, it's in Sattva Guna. Somebody is having a very spicy, hot food, it's like, Rajaguna. Somebody is having, what do you say, yesterday's food, spoiled, rotten, untouchable food. It's a mode of ignorance. So I just want to make you understand that food doesn't just affect the body, it also influences our mind and consciousness. Actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that the mood and consciousness in which the food is cooked and eaten determines whether he falls under these three gunas. Like somebody, eats food is like very fresh, it's like very pure, then what happens, it's a sattva guna, because there is purity, peace, and good health. Somebody is like having food in like outside, like what they say, pani puri, all they sell outside, So it's like, rajaguna. A lot of spicy will be there, So because of that, our mind consciousness becomes very restless. We would like to always have so many desires, And then tamaguna, what do I say? Like people order, food from junk items, So laziness, depression, confusion, So all this will come. So I'll give you an example, make you understand, See, there was a man who built a very beautiful house, but strangely, he was keep saying, I want to leave this house. A man who built like a mansion, beautiful house. People loved him, but he always says, I want to leave this house. So everything was perfect. There was no any problem, no financial problem. His health was good. Everything was good. But keeps on telling, I want to leave this house. I want to leave this house. Constantly he was saying, everybody confused. What happened to this guy, Then they took help of a psychiatrist. So he eventually came to know what is the reason why he's saying. He told that one of the maid servant who's coming to your house, when she's cooking a food, we just came to know that the maid servant, she's always very frustrated, she's very angry, and recently she got divorced, and she's putting a lot of negative, stuff in her mind, consciousness, and she's the one who's cooking the meal, sorry. And because of her, this guy is eating it, and that consciousness is coming in his head. And that's why he says, I want to leave this house, So he's speaking like that. So you see how it works. So what I meant to say is, by eating the foods daily, the man unknowingly got absorbed by the emotions. And, now he's telling, that he is very unhappy, restlessness. Why? Because the food is food is cooked by a maid servant. She doesn't take bath. She's unclean. She got divorced, and she has had a frustration at home and a lot of anger. And she cooks now. Her consciousness will come in our head, and we also tend to be like that. So the lesson, what I'm trying to make you understand, is that consciousness transfers through food. This is why, Bhagavad Gita recommends that whenever you cook something, first offer to Krishna. Then it becomes karma free. It becomes purified prasadam, and then it will be free from subtle contamination. I think, am I making sense what I'm saying? So this is very, very important. So just keep this in mind, food is absorbed, the consciousness of the cook. That one thing I want to share. It should be cooked with the love and peace and devotion. That's why, mother's food, though it not is very tasty, but it's very healthy. Why? Because there is a lot of love, a lot of love for the child, and the health of, you see, Lord Krishna, Mother Yashoda told, that Radharani should cook, cook for Krishna. You must say why? Because this Radharani, she got a boon from Durvasa Muni, that whoever eats food from her hand, they will become very healthy, they'll live for a long life. And also, this Radharani, she got a blessings that she will not repeat the food. She'll keep on making variety. That's why they say variety is the mother of food. That is why Mother Yashoda, she appointed Radharani that you please come and cook to my child. And that's why Krishna used to love eating food, and he was like, wow, we did all of colorful things. So that's what I wanted to say. That's why in spiritual life, first, food is first offered to the Lord, comes prasadam, and then cooked with cleanliness and good mood. So I will discuss this more in the the 17th chapter. It elaborately, like if you eat very spicy, very hot food, it's just, what is it, passion. It creates only stress, desire, restlessness. But somebody is eating yesterday's food, like somebody kept the food in the fridge and they're having their breakfast, lunch, dinner from the fridge, and it was made a couple of days back. It's like Tamas. That person will become a little lazy, like he have confusion. Of course, even his spiritual life will not be so progressive. That's why take a very healthy food, very juicy, very vegetarian food, because it's a mode of goodness, because by eating that, you have a good health, a lot of clarity, peace, spiritual growth. I will explain this in more details in chapter 17. So till then, stay connected. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something more. Mode of nature. You see, there are three pictures here. Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. Sattva-guna is being very satisfied with himself, and also the orders of the Lord does not follow. What does it mean? It means a person is in Sattva Guna, mode of goodness, is self-satisfied. He always wants to do some social service, help others. But he has one problem. What is that? He feels very proud. He thinks, I build the hospitals, I build the colleges, I'm only helping everybody. Why should I listen to God? So he's ignoring Lord's instruction due to his pride, even though his actions are good. You see what I'm saying? He's doing good thing, but same time he's ignoring the God. Now that is also in Sattva Guna, but here he's ignoring the God. He thinks I am the doer. That's one of the mistake. Coming to Rajaguna, it says he desires shout out of the supreme being, does not hear the sound. Okay, what does it mean? So here it says Rajaguna means passion. Person is always very busy chasing money, desire, success. He's too caught up in his activities, but no time to remember God, So he's very restless, a restless mind, most of the time attracted for his result. All right. So in this case also, see, Satvaguna is doing good things, but he doesn't, care for God. In the case of Rajaguna, he's always busy, but he has no time to remember God. Rajaguna, no time to remember God. In Satvaguna, why should I listen to God? He has a pride. All right. And then when it comes to Tamaguna, he's also very lazy, being in ignorance in voice of God. Not us. Okay. So in mode of Tamaguna, this person is lazy, confused, and negative, and avoids responsibility. He doesn't want to take any responsibility. And he also has an addiction to bad habits and completely ignores spiritual life. All right. So here I'm saying something different. What is that? In all the three cases, they are saying, I don't want God. So in the first case, what is happening is doing a lot of good activities. But he says, no, why should I listen to God? End of the day, I'm only doing. He has the pride. That is mode of goodness, Sattva Guna. In mode of Rajaguna, that's mode of passion. This person has no time to remember God because he's so much busy chasing money, success, he has no time. In ignorance, he is so much lazy, confused, he doesn't want to take any responsibilities and completely ignores the spiritual life. Now, I have a question for you. Answer with the logic. Okay. A question is, which mode makes a person think I help others, but I don't need God? Okay, I'll put it in the polling. Okay. Just one moment. I'm just one. Yeah. Yes. Which person makes? Yeah, Sattva Guna. You see, Sattva Guna. We are saying from all the modes come to Sattva Guna. But even in Sattva Guna also, we have this defect. What is that? I am the doer. Krishna says in the previous chapter, he says, Arjuna, you just become an instrumental. Nimitra matena, just because instrumental, and I am the doer. But here we are coming to mode of goodness, but still we think I am the doer. No, me, my, I. This is what the problem is. Yeah, this is the right answer. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, good. Okay, good. Now I'm going to tell you a real incident. A very real incident happened in Jaipur. Jaipur is also called as Gupta Vrindavan. Like we have Vrindavan, right? Mathura Vrindavan. So we also have one more Vrindavan in Jaipur. It says it's a hidden Vrindavan. Why? Because all the deities of Vrindavan have been shifted to Jaipur. Okay, just for information. So I want to tell you a true story. Please pay attention. It's going to make a big change in life. Once in Jaipur, one prostitute, she sincerely cooked some sweet meal and she came to temple, offered to Lord. And when the moment that the prostitute came to the temple, she wanted to offer a bhoga to the Lord, the Brahmanas, the pujaris, they rejected her, saying, we cannot offer the food made by someone impure. All right. But that night, Lord Krishna appeared in Pujari's dream and said, no, I have accepted her offering because her heart was very pure. She wanted to offer something to me. And the next day, when all the pujaris came to temple for Mangala morning, they saw that the sweet what she had made, the prostitute, was miraculously found in the altar. The puja room, they found that, Now, out of curiosity, some pujaris, what they did is they tasted that remnants, they tasted that sweet meal which was made by the prostitute. But I want to tell you, soon, that day night, all the pujaris, they experienced something, restlessness. I don't know how do I say it. They even had a nightfall. I mean to say, they were confused because they thought, "Okay, maybe Lord has taken it, so let me also take." No, they said no, but now they saw Lord has taken it. Lord came in the dream also. Now they started eating the prasad that offered, and that night, their mind was disturbed, and then they were confused and they prayed to the Lord, Lord, why this happened to me? Please reply. And Lord replied, what he replied? He said, see, I am beyond the three modes of nature. That means these three modes doesn't cover me. Mode of passion, mode of ignorance, mode of goodness. These three modes are above me. All right. But it's not the same for you because you are a conditioned person, but I am beyond that. That is why I can digest that offering, but you are still in that same mode. That is why her consciousness affected you, and that is why you had a nightfall, or you had a mind disturbed, all such things. So Krishna is untouched by anyone's karma or mode, but we are not like Krishna. All right, we have to first come to that level. That's why uh, I always keep saying, that whenever you cook some food, first offer to Krishna, then it purifies it, and then it becomes prasadam. Then it is very safe. It's uplifting for us. Now you may say that Prabhuji, you're saying just now like this, but that woman, she also offered to Krishna, na? It's supposed to become what do you say? That food supposed to become prasadam, na? Yeah, it was prasadam. But just before that, this Brahmanas rejected her, saying that you are an impure woman, we cannot offer the food, But then Lord accepted her, accepted that bhoga. But these people, they want to eat that food with a greed because Lord has tasted it. But because they had a different mentality, immediately Lord want to teach him a lesson. That is why, they were disturbed in the night and they had a kind of a very bad thoughts. And same time, when they prayed, asking apology for the Lord, why this happened, then Lord told them in the dream, because I am beyond three modes. That's not the same. That's not the case in your case, because you are a sadhaka. You are just making an efforts, to come to more from ignorance to passion to goodness. That's where we have this Mangalarti at what time? Brahma Muhurta time, that is beyond the three modes. So gradually, we'll come to the stage. But right now, we should do our homework. So now, my question for all of you is, why could only Lord Krishna accept the prostitute's offering without any negative effect? Why? You know that because Krishna is beyond the three modes. You know, yeah, somebody already answered in the chat box because Lord, yeah, thank you. Yes, sir. Lord is saying, Rajastamas, Rajastamas cha vibhuya atvam bhuvati bharata, Rajasatvam tamas chaiva, tamasatvam rajastadha. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. Person of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at that other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there's always competition for supremacy. Okay, I'll explain you. I know it's like a little bit twisting, you know. So this modes keep changing. Today you are in mode of goodness. Tomorrow little sad, mode of ignorance, or maybe mode of passion. So this modes keeps changing. It doesn't remain all the time the same. So what we have to learn from this verse is that sometimes the sattva guna dominates, sometimes rajoguna, sometimes tamaguna, because I would say because according to the time, place, situation, things change. Now, like the food that we eat, the people we meet, the thoughts that come to our mind, and the habits we have, all these things can make a big change. For example, I'll tell you, I'm just trying to frame a question. How to know which guna is dominating in me? For example, how do you judge that which kind of mode am I? For example, let's say I'm very peaceful, I'm very clear in what I'm speaking. That means I'm in a mode of goodness. Let's say I'm very busy, very stressed, chasing for the goals. I need this, I need this. That means oh, this guy's in a hurry burry. That means he's in a mode of rajas, that is passion. And this guy is giving class and he's like doing like this. He's very sleepy, he's like very dull, very confused, and sometimes very angry. That means he's in tamas means mode of ignorance. So now I have a question for you. Okay, which mode dominates when you feel lazy, when you're confused or angry? Okay, I'll put this question on the screen. Okay, so one more. Yes, the question is up on the screen. Which mode dominates when you feel lazy? Yeah, exactly right, Tamaguna. Yes, yeah. No, it is C is the right answer. Okay, I'll share the results. Watch to yourself. C is a right answer. Okay, stop sharing now. Okay, don't worry. I'll put some more questions for you in the polling now. Okay, now let's say see. So what I meant to say is our real goal is what? To go beyond the three modes, right? And this can happen only when you surrender to Krishna and following his instructions. Then it's easy for us to rise above the three gunas and reach the pure transcendence. It is mentioned in Gita. It's not that I'm saying, it's mentioned in Gita. I'll tell you. Let's say I'll give an example of some people's name. Okay, let's say there's a girl by name Meena. Okay, Meena, whatever, Reena, whatever. She wakes up early in the morning. She eats good food. She does some meditation. She chants her rounds every day. She studies very peacefully, and she also helps others. Now, tell me in which guna she is in the chat box. Like, is she in a mode of ignorance, mode of passion, or mode of tamaguna, rajoguna, tatoguna? Which guna do you think she is? Okay. Yeah, sattva guna. Perfectly right. Yes. Yes. Thank you. That is correct. Now, I'll give another example. Let's say somebody by name Raju, not the Raju Bangan gentleman, just Raju. Okay. He's always rush. He's always checking his mails. And he is watching TV and having his breakfast. And he's doing multitask. He's on the phone also. He's talking to somebody else also. And also he is trying to do a lot of things at one time. But sometimes, not many, not sometimes. Most of the time, he's stressed also. So what do you think? Which guna is in mode of passion, ignorance, or okay? Rajoguna, Rajoguna, Rajoguna. Yes, exactly right. Because he's very busy, ambitious, but no time for peace. Okay, now last question. Um, let's say somebody by name. Okay, I'll just take some name from the chat box only. Just to give an example. Okay. Don't feel bad, huh? Okay. Let's say Advaita. She sleeps whole day, morning till evening, and she skips her responsibilities, and she always gives complaints, because of you, I'm late, and she's little confused also. She has no reason, but she starts always fighting with everybody. So what do you think? She's in a mode of goodness or passion or ignorance? Tamaguna. Okay. Okay, no offense. I'm just giving example, and don't feel that I'm telling you. Okay, yeah, ignorance, exactly right. So, see, this simple test, we're able to distinguish. Somebody is very peaceful, very clear, they're in Sattva Guna. Somebody is very busy, stressed, Rajaguna. Somebody is very lazy, confused, Tamaguna. Okay, just understand this concepts as we go for the slides, makes it more easier. Okay, now you see in this slide, if we are peaceful, satisfied, we are in Sattva Guna, mode of goodness. All right. For example, let's say I give example for Advaita. Now I'll do a little different. Now Advaita, she wakes up early morning. She takes some time. She takes bath, go to the puja room. She does some meditation. She chants some rounds, and she's work very peacefully. And she also help others. And she's always very calm. And even when challenges comes, very nicely she responds. Now we could see she feels a lot of content. She has a real spiritual in her. She reads a lot of spiritual books even at night also before she goes to sleep. She is in a Sattva Guna, exactly, because she's very peaceful, satisfied, balanced. She's in Sattva Guna. Okay, I'll take somebody else's name. Okay, now. Okay, let's say uh, Aruna. Okay. Now, Aruna is like, very busy, very angry, hurry, chasing for money, comparing others, and very soon, gets angry with others, and not satisfied, always wanting, Bill mange more, give me more, so what do you think, is anger full of desire? So do you think is in passion or what? Okay, I'm getting that. Rajaguna. Yes, thank you. Yes, passion. Okay, fine. I'm sorry, I'm just picking up somebody's name like this just to make us very active. Okay, we have Priya. Okay. No, she's a little lazy and careless. Okay, why? Because she wakes up late because she says I have my exam, so she keeps reading whole night. So morning she wakes up very late, and some of her duty because being a girl she has to put rangoli, she has to clean the house, she skips that work. And top of that, she's wasting time on the phone. And she keeps playing, watching reels. No offense, Priya, just kind of and also she blames, because of you only, things not happening. And sometimes she's also a little bit, confused, a little dull. So what do you think, Priya is in a mode of goodness or passion? Okay, fine. Yes. So I see she's in mode of ignorance. Okay. She's lazy, unaware, clearly tamaguna. Okay. I'm giving the example just to make sure that no, we understand this concept. Okay. Now, what is the lesson we learn from this life? When we realize what we are in lower state of nature, if we refrain from engaging actions, many problems will be solved. What does it mean? It means when we identify which guna is influencing us, and not just blindly follow our impulse, we should try to enjoy more, will only increase desire. You want to enjoy more, it'll only increase desire. But see, it's like, what do you say, adding ghee in the fire. It'll still, the flame will increase. But instead, you want to enjoy, but tomorrow you have exam. So you have to control your mind and rise above the gunas. So you should know, you should be able to balance. That's what I'm trying to convey. So now my question for all of you is, what happens when we want to enjoy more without any control? It's like adding a ghee on the fire. Desire keeps on increasing. There's no end for that. Okay. I like that. Now here it says Tamastu Anjanatam Vidhi Mohanam Sarvat Dehinam Pramatalasya Nibratsya Tan Nibadanti Bharata. Those situated in mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live in on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of goodness go down to the hellish worlds. Okay, I'll explain this in a simpler way. People think doing good things we get a lot of punya, but punya is not enough. Even good karma, we are caught up in the material world. If we are in Sattva Guna, mode of goodness, we may go to heaven, Swargaloka, but we have to again come back again. Same thing, if you are in Rajaguna, passion, we are again born in this earth. But in Tamaguna, what happens? We again go to the lower planets, like a Narka, hellish planet. So even Sattva-guna is not the final freedom. Okay, I'll tell you in a story format. Maybe you will understand. See, there is one great devotee. She's a gopi. She stays in Vrindavan. Her name is Sintayanti. Sintayanti, okay? Sintayanti. She's a great gopi. She stays in Vrindavan. Whenever she hears Krishna playing the flute, she wanted to run towards Krishna. But she couldn't do that. Why? Because her mother-in-law, she's at home. She's not allowing her. So she was happy hearing Krishna. That means whatever punya she had, she's using it for that. And whenever she feels very disappointed, she couldn't go, her papa is getting destroyed. Now I know this is confusing. I'll explain you. See, both papa and punya is gone. When there is no papa, when there is no punya, then you can go to the spiritual world. Now you're thinking, you're confused. Sir, what are you saying? Punya, papa. Okay, I explain you. How do we learn this? Say, when you're very happy, we spend our punya. When you have punya, good karma, that's when you become very happy. So whenever you're very happy, whatever good punya you have, it goes off. All right. And whenever we are suffering or crying, whatever anartha, papa we have, that's also is getting burnt. So both this papa and punya, they both are bonding, keep us in this material world. If you want to go to the spiritual world, you have to give up both. No punya, no papa. Understand what I'm saying, sir? That's why we should just not aim for punya or avoid just papa. Papa means bad actions, bad karma. You should aim for pure devotion. Because only devotional service to Krishna can remove both, papa and punya. Papa means not that papa. Papa means not papa means sinful activities. Okay. And punya means pious activities. Okay. So if you want to say no to both, good action and bad action, then it's easy for you to go to Godhead. So now, just want to know whether you understood what I said. Okay. What alone can free us from both good and bad karma? It's pure devotion to Krishna. Why? Because even by doing punya also, you go to Swargaloka, again you have to come back to material world. If you do punya, papa, the sinful activity, you'll go to Naraka, you'll be punished, again take birth. If you don't want to do both, then go to the spiritual world. For that, we should not just do punya, because by doing punya, you'll not go to the spiritual world. You will be staying same place. Okay, I think you are right answer. So I'll stop sharing. Oh, we are running out of time, so I'll make it a little faster. Okay. While in this body, one prepares for the next life. So make responsible choice. Oh, we heard a lot about this, So whatever thoughts, actions, and desire we carry at the time of death, that becomes seed for the next life. I think you heard this a lot. Remember, I told you the story of Bharat Maharaj. He was born as a deer. With a great king, he left the palace. He went to a forest. But then what happened? He got attached to a deer. And at the time of death, he was remembering deer. And then next life, he took birth as a deer. All right. So lesson is, even in spiritual life also, people, if they are a little careless, their mind goes here and there, then they have to suffer. So even spiritual people must be careful where the mind goes at death. That means when you're leaving this planet, you have to make sure that you don't think of such things, because again you have to take birth like that. That was the pastime of Bharat Maharaj. I think I explained this about even Ajamila also. Ajamila, he was a sinful person. But initially he was a good person. He was a Brahmana. But he was saved. Why? Because at the time of death, he chanted not God's name, his son's name. What was it? Narayana. So at death, he called out his son Narayana. Because of that, Yamadutas, they came to punish him. But who also came? Vishnu Dutas also came because he chanted the Lord's name. They said he remembered Lord's name, you cannot touch him. The lesson is even accidentally, if you can remember God's name, our destiny can change. But I want to tell you, don't consider that you will chant accidentally. Practice, practice, practice. Same in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva was a young boy, he was sitting in his father's lap. Her stepmother, Suruchi told, you cannot sit in my father, you cannot sit in his lap, because he had another, that they had two stepmothers, Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi had a son, his name was Uttam, right? So it's a big story, but what I want to say is that now somebody has fixed his mind in God, Vishnu, then he had a very good life. So in the case of Dhruva, what happened at the time of death, he fixed his mind on Lord Vishnu, and because of that, from the spiritual sky, a spiritual aeroplane came and took him to Vaikunta. That time, that Dhruva, he said, I got this bhakti because of a mother. What about my mother? He said, your mother is already going in that Vaikunta, in another, another Pushpa Vimana. So don't worry about that. See, by doing all such things, by remembering God at the time of death, what a great fortune we have. But don't think it's easy. We have to practice, practice, practice. Remember, I gave that example of that bag. We have a bag. I give it 10 minutes of time. We wanted to take potatoes. Then we went about the laptops. Then we went into golden biscuits. Time in, time up. Then what happened? The bag is empty. Remember that story? That's why we have to be very, very careful. The time of death, it's not so easy to remember God. We have to practice. That's why it is given in Bhagavad Gita. What it says, just couple of days we spoke about chapter 8. Remember chapter 8, where Krishna is saying, yam yam vapis maran bhavam, tyat ante kalevaram, tam tam evati kaunteya, Siddhartha Bhava Bhavitha. It says, whatever state of mind, whatever state of one remembers me while quitting the body, that state he will attain without fail. The conclusion, what I want to tell you is that this body is like a gift, and we've got a chance to prepare for the next life. So let us all of us become very wise, not just enjoying or suffering, but let's do some pure devotion. That way it can take us beyond the three modes of Gunas, and easy to reach Krishna. Now, I have a question for all of you. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to poll for you. The question is, what decides our next birth according to Gita? Okay. Our thoughts at the time of death. Fantastic. You are given the right answer. Okay. Fine. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the sloka. I'll just read the meaning of this. It says, the human body, which can award all the benefits in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature. Although it is a very rare achievement, this human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat having a spiritual master as a captain and the instruction of a personality of God as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all the advantages, human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. So I'll explain you. It's a big passage. I'll explain you. See, this human life is like a very big opportunity. Imagine this human body is like a well-built boat. You heard about this movie, Titanic? So consider, this body is like a boat, Titanic boat. Okay, and there's a captain in the boat. He is a spiritual master, a guru, and the weather of the weather condition. Sometimes the big storm weather. This weather, a favorable wind, I would say, is like a Bhagavad Gita. The instructions of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita is like the favorable wind, and you and me are sitting in the boat. Now, where is the boat going? Actually, it is meant to cross the destination. Supposed to meant to cross the destination. But in our case, we have to supposed to cross from the ocean of material life. That is birth, death, old age, disease. Then we can reach the shore of freedom of God's world very safely. Now, what about animals? I know many of them have dogs at home, right? What about them? Actually, dogs have a very low consciousness. Of course, they protect you. I'm not saying no. Animals also have bodies like us, but they don't have the responsibility or choice. They just live by nature. But humans are different. Just like you see, a judge and a clerk, both are working in the court. But the judge guy, he's paid more salary, more facility, more respect because he has a greater responsibility. In the same way, we human, we have more intelligence and opportunity than the animals. That's why we are expected to use it for a higher purpose. Now, to realize God and go to spiritual world, but what if we don't use it? If we don't take this golden chance, don't if you don't follow the captain, the guru, then we get caught up with the storm, and then the boat Titanic will sink, and then a life becomes completely waste. Right? So the scriptures like Bhagavatam says that if a person does not use this human body for realizing God, it's like he becomes the killer of his own soul. He becomes the killer of the own soul. So the analogy what I wanted to bring about here is that okay, I'll ask this question for you. What does a spiritual master represent? Okay, I have a question for you. Let's check it out if you can answer this. Yes, please answer them. What does the spiritual master represent in this boat? Sorry, yeah, the captain, because he's a guru, not the wind. The captain, the guru. Okay, fine. I'll stop sharing. Okay, good. Now, why I'm trying to say this because this human body is like a boat. Remember the Titanic boat? I'm just giving you a reference. And guru is like a captain. So we need to have a guru, because he will guide us. What is right, what is bad. He knows. Then, of course, Bhagavad Gita, that's Krishna's teaching, that is compared to the wind. If the wind is nice, you will able to go nicely. If the wind is like, haywire, lot of storm, then the boat also will go like this. Then you may also fall. So that fear is there. Of course, what should be our goal? To cross the ocean of life and reach the spiritual world. Just cross the destination. But if you miss it, we have wasted this very rare life, human life. Okay, I'll not take much time. We're almost there now. So death is not an end of suffering. It is a continuation from journey to the next. So get into the right flight back to the spiritual abode. Okay. Now, I'll just explain you what is mentioned here. Krishna is saying that we are all affected by three gunas. You, me, all of us, Sattva guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. But this all come from a material nature, and they try to, bind us. Cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. So if you want to become free, we must rise above these three gunas. What does it mean? It means, don't be controlled by modes like desire and laziness. Don't. And also very important, we have to practice devotion and follow what is Gita is saying, instructions of Bhagavad Gita. And of course, we have to go beyond the gunas because that will help you to make you liberated. So this is called transcending the modes. That is going beyond the modes. Remember Brahma Muhurta time, early morning. That's very important. Now, I'm not reading the translation. I'm going fast. Now, how do we jump? Krishna clearly explains in Gita how to come to these three gunas, sattva, rajatamas. Very simple. Only through unalloyed devotional service. When I say unalloyed, no mixing. It's pure. When you do unalloyed bhakti, one can raise above the three gunas and reach the spiritual platform. That's the way we have to serve the Lord with the devotion. Remember, I told you, we should chant with attention, hear with absorption, deal with the affection, and serve with the devotion. Then it becomes very easy to overcome these three modes and become free from this rebirth. So, devotion means what? Chanting Krishna's, God's name, offering Bhoga for the Lord, Prasadam, then worshipping Tulsi Maharani and observing Ekadashi. Four things always I'm telling you from the day one. So please make sure you don't forget. By doing this regularly, we come to the Shuddha Sattva Guna, that is mode of transcendence, that is above mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. You go above that. And that will help you to become fit to enter Vaikuntha. Not just by, doing punya karma, you will only go to Swargaloka. So even Sattva-guna is not enough. We must go beyond it. That is called bhakti. Now, we just have a couple of slides. So staying in staying in Sattva mode and not attaining pure Sattva mode. What does it mean? See, despite Karna's good qualities, falling away from the company of evil people. Very important, please pay attention. See, even a person like Karna, he has all good qualities. He does charity, he has the courage, he has the loyalty. But he is associating with the bad people like Duryodhana. Mantara was associating with Kaiki was associating with Mantara. That's why she rejected Krishna, Rama. So like that, Karna has all the good qualities, but he is associating with whom? Duryodhana. You know, Duryodhana is famous for what? Pride. And because of his associating with Duryodhana, all Karna's goodness, is influenced by bad qualities. So, though Karna may have a Sattva guna, because he is associating with the people who have a Tamaguna, Rajaguna, he comes to the lower modes. That's why he's a mix of Rajaguna and Tamaguna. So, one should rise above Vishuddha Sattva Guna. That is about 3 modes. Now, my question for you is, I hope you understood what I'm going to say. Your answer will help me to understand. What happens to Karna's goodness due to association with the bad people like Duryodhana? It becomes influenced by Rajaguna and Tamaguna. Look at this. Hanuman, Jai Shri Ram. Now, in the first glance, we see Hanuman may seem is in the mode of passion. Because you see, he's like a lot of anger. He's burning Lanka, fought fiercely with Ravana. But in reality, he is not in mode of ignorance, not of mode of passion. He is in mode of goodness. You may say, how is it possible? Why? Because, see, he has anger. I can see that he has anger, He also has a lot of action. But that action is not in selfish mode. Because he won't utilize that in the service of the Lord, Sri Ram. Because of that, even though he had the quality of anger, it is used in the service of the Lord, it becomes pure. I mean to say, even quality like passion or ignorance or anger, whatever, it becomes pure when it is used in the God service. This is called Shuddha Sattva Guna. Okay, my question for you is, why is Hanuman's anger considered, top? Okay, I'll put this on the polling so you can help me out. Why is Hanuman's anger considered pure, Shuddha Sattva? Because his anger was, yes, exactly right. See, now, Shuddha Sattva is not mode of passion, not mode of ignorance, not mode of goodness also. It's beyond that. That's what it's called Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva means it's above 3 modes. Okay, right. I'll share the results. C is the right answer. Okay, thank you. So I'll quickly give you a couple of examples. See, in Ramayana, we have Hanuman's anger. So, because though he had anger, it was in Rama's service. That's why he's in a mode of above mode of goodness. Right. Same thing, Arjuna also. Arjuna, he fought in Kurukshetra war. He had a lot of passion. But he was guided by Krishna. That's why his action turned to be pure service to God. That's why he doesn't come into mode of passion or goodness. It comes to mode of Sattva Guna. Vishuddha Sattva Guna. Shuddha Sattva. That is above mode of goodness. Okay. Even Narasimha's anger. Lord Narasimha became very angry, right? Why? Because Lord Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu. But that was very divine. Why? To protect the Prahlad. That means that was not a material anger, but that transcends the emotion, fully absorbed in the modes. That is above 3 modes. Lord Narasimhadev. Bhima also took a vow, right? Bhima went against Duryodhana to fight, kill Duryodhana and Dushasana. Even that also comes because you want to uphold the dharma, right? To protect Draupadi. That's why, even Bhima's anger also is sanctified by Krishna's plan. So even is above that. Also, Of course, I can keep on going, because of time constraint. No? So the summary is that no, when anger or passion, when it is used in Krishna's service, that becomes Shuddha Sattva Guna, pure, spiritual, and beyond the material contamination. So we just have last slide, so pay attention. So here we see Jada Bharat, he's like a madman with no worldly movements. But he taught Raghuguna, who was a king, a perfect spiritual knowledge. So somebody is in mode of ignorance, like always dull. But even that person can do magic. How? Here you see, even though ignorance is tamo guna, acting them to the state of pure. How does it mean? It means some people may look like they are in tamoguna, ignorance, like very lazy, crazy, not dressed nicely, no social, nothing, living in a very dirty place. But if they are always remembering Krishna, they are not in tamoguna. They are in a Shuddha Sattva, pure consciousness. Example is we have Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat, he looked very lazy, crazy. He had a cloth dirty. He was in complete tamaguna. But inside, he was fully God conscious. That means he was in a pure goodness. Just like Hanumanji, I gave example of Arjun. Similarly, what we can say here, if we use any qualities, even laziness, silence, whatever, in Krishna's service, it becomes pure. That's why the message what I want to deliver today is it's not about how something looks from outside. What matter is the purpose. If the purpose is for Krishna's service, even then if somebody is in Tamaguna, Rajaguna, Satvaguna, he comes to Shuddha Satvaguna. So my last question for all of you is, what determines if a quality like lazy in a Shuddha Sattva? Okay, I'll just put this question so you'll understand it. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is the last question of the day. What determines if a quality like laziness is Shuddha Sattva? Answer is B. If it is used in Krishna's service, that's fantastic. So finally today, what did we learn? We learned that Krishna explains how all living beings are influenced by three modes. What are three modes? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. All right. So goodness is like very pure, harmony, peace, calm, and passion, having so many desires, a lot of activities, attachment. Let me do this, let me do this. Is rushing out, is what is like emailing and doing work, multitask, and ignorance is like very lazy, is like very darkness, illusion. So we discussed that these modes bind the soul to be born in the repeated birth and death, But Krishna is revealing that we have to transcend above these modes. That is possible only through devotional service. So one who attains a spiritual platform, he can reach the supreme. So the message that you all can take home today is that we all have to transcend the three modes by devotion to Krishna. Only then does one make free from birth, death, old age, disease, and attain eternal life. Thank you so much for all of you for your patience. So tomorrow we're going to go with chapter 15, the yoga of a supreme person. So meet the supreme person face to face. For that, you have to attend tomorrow's class.